Republicans in the Iowa House have just passed a bill that would ban teachers from using materials from the Mayo Clinic and other research institutions when teaching about fetal development, because those institutions sometimes have to perform abortions to save the life of the mother. Now, you have to judge for yourself from the footage, but I don't think that the representative who wrote this bill actually knew that her bill did this.
Representative, could you give me examples of what you consider to be trusted sources of medical information regarding the human body and development?
Sure. The CDC, the NIH, Mayo.
You mentioned Mayo Clinic. The amendment says research-based instruction in human growth and development shall not include any book, article, video, or other educational material produced or provided by an entity that does any of the following: performs abortions, or makes referrals to an entity that performs abortions. Representative, I'd like to point out that the Mayo Clinic, the University of Iowa even, the Cleveland Clinic, Johns Hopkins University, performs abortions. This would make it illegal for teachers to use materials from the Mayo Clinic.
So perhaps some of the entities that perform abortions, I would propose that those are antithetical to the idea that humanity of the unborn child occurs in the womb. Now, we got to make sure we distinguish between elective versus, medically necessary or possibly even spontaneous, right? You didn't specify that.
Representative, does your amendment distinguish between abortions that are needed to protect the life of a mother versus abortions that are done electively?
No, it does not.
Now, I'm guessing that Representative Hayes had intended to just ban materials from Planned Parenthood, but despite me pointing out that her censorship went much further than that, she and her Republican colleagues doubled down and passed the bill anyway. Folks, when government bans truthful information, that's called censorship. And when that void of truth is filled instead by falsehoods, perhaps a pro-life political narrative in this case, it's called propaganda. And when that propaganda is mandated in our public schools to shape the minds of young children, that's called indoctrination. And for Republican lawmakers to do this at a time when they have been hell-bent on fighting supposed liberal indoctrination in our schools, completely unfounded, that's called hypocrisy. Iowans deserve better.